Welcome, everybody. Tonight we have a special guest star. I'm going to call you our guest star. Keisha Randall, we were able to get her back for an added webinar for us where she's going to talk about engaging your young child who's deaf or hard of hearing in reading, song, and dance. And without further ado, I'm going to let her introduce herself. She's an amazing woman who has navigated many systems and done lots of things. So I really quickly want to let you know, if you have any questions, pop them in the chat for us. And we will make sure that we give Keisha a holler and address them. And I'm going to make my face go away so you will see the interpreters and Keisha for the rest of the event tonight. So welcome and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys. I just want to say to add the questions in the chat, but any comments or feedback, anything that you have to contribute to this conversation, I want it to be as interactive and engaging as possible. So let me know how you feel as well. So just a heads up, I'm Keisha. I go by Miss Keisha in the classroom. My name is K-E-I-C-H-E. My father's name was Keith, and my mom's name is Cherie. So they combined both names, and that's how I got the spelling of my name. I kind of brought up my family because I kind of want to talk about, coming from a hearing family and the relationship that I have with my parents and how that affects me now as a deaf adult. And so growing up, my father wasn't around as much. My mom was a single parent, and she did her best as far as providing access to speech during this time. And I had speech classes. I didn't learn ASL until I was in college. And then now, as a deaf mom, I have a relationship with my father, and my relationship with my mother is rocky. And it matters because as I'm navigating, through my life, it would be beneficial to have a strong support system. And that's what I try to be the epitome of in my community, just that extra family for those who don't have it, or extra support for those who do. So just to further go into my introduction, I'm the founder of Steps by Keisha. Steps by Keisha stands for Songs to Enhance People's Signage. So my goal is to expose people to American Sign Language and empower and motivate them to continue to learn. I'm also a teacher of the deaf in Oakland Unified School District, where I work with students from K through 3rd. It's been an amazing experience, but also a learning curve in lieu of COVID during this time. I'm also a mother of 2 hearing children, so it's important that I model the desired behavior at home and that my children learn to sign. It's funny because my 4-year-old son, he knows that he can't get anything without signing. And so that vocabulary that we're going to be talking about today, they have to be able to see it everywhere they are in order to grasp onto it. Another thing is I'm an advocate, I'm an ally, I'm a friend. Anytime we talk about safe space, intentional inclusion, access, American Sign Language, I'm the person who's kind of the go-to person that I link others to for the resources, but also provide experience being a deaf Black woman as well. So Steps by Keisha mission and vision is to bridge the gap between the deaf and the hearing community. So the inspiration behind this was I didn't have any ASL prior, and I wanted to figure out how can I understand music, poem, books in a way that was immediate access. So as I was riding to work, I was listening to a song, and it just came to me, hey, if I take the vocabulary words, how do I make them come to life as far as a visual picture? Maybe I'll be able to understand it better instead of having to look up the lyrics and then, match it. And I still do that, but it makes it easier that I'm able to see a visual picture. And we'll talk about that a little bit later as I talk about Steps by Keisha method and how we translate from ASL English into the hip hop flavor. So I did want to share with you guys a video of just kind of what I do. 2 summers ago, we got together in the community, opened it up for everyone who wanted to learn, and we said, hey, we have this song, Sunflower, that was a popular song to the Spider-Man soundtrack. And I had a cousin who passed away in a car crash, and we dedicated this video, this remake video of ASL, PSC, of trying to inspire others to be pumped up about the visibility of ASL as well. So I want to share this. And then if you guys have any feedback or comment, I would love to hear what you have to say. Shifting the culture. That ain't even a song, but I just made it one.
Needless to say, I keep a check. She was a bad, bad, nevertheless. Calling it quits now, baby, I'm a wreck. Crash at my place, baby, you're a wreck. Needless to say, I'm keeping a check. She was a bad, bad, nevertheless. Calling it quits now, baby, I'm a wreck. Crash at my place, baby, you're a wreck. Thinking in a bad way, losing your grip. Screaming at my face, baby, don't trip. Someone took a big L, don't know how that felt. Looking at you sideways, party on tilt. Ooh, certain things you just can't refuse. She wanna ride me like a cruise, and I'm not trying to lose. Then you're left in the dust, unless I stuck by ya. You're a sunflower. I think your love would be too much, or you'd be left in the dust, unless I stuck by ya. You're the sunflower. You're the sunflower.
Every time I'm leaving on you, you don't make it easy, no. Wish I could be there for you. Give me a reason to. Oh, every time I'm walking out, I can hear you telling me to turn around. Fighting for my trust and you won't back down. Even if we gotta risk it all right now. I know you're scared of the unknown. You don't wanna be alone. I know I always come and go, but it's out of my control. And you'll be left in the dust unless I stuck by you. You're the sunflower. I think your love would be too much, or you'll be left in the dust unless I stuck by you. You're the sunflower. You're the sunflower.
And just walk off. Just leave. Just leave. Just leave.
One of the things I kind of wanted to point out about the video was there was hearing students, deaf students, people who had never been exposed to American Sign Language had come in and was willing to learn. And if you watch the whole video, you could see there was an atmosphere of being uncomfortable, and that's okay. I work with communities where it isn't our first language, so it's okay to try something new. And so this was the whole epitome and the purpose of getting this community group together and trying to come together with this video. So one of the things that Steps by Keisha does is we take the English language, we use ASL words and signs, and then we add the flavor of hip hop. So if there's a song that people already know, it's easier to learn signs to that because you already have the words down pat, opposed to learning the words to the song first and then having to learn the ASL as well. So for the target population of children 0 to 3, their brains are like sponges, so they're craving for communication. So simple one word sign does the job. I was just talking to some friends the other day where their child is 18 months and they just watch. They're just waiting to soak up whatever we have to give. So I kind of wanted to review some basic ASL words, signs that you can start doing in home, because modeling the desired behavior is the only how we're going to shift the culture and normalize the ASL with our community language. So I have some words prepared for you guys that I always kind of start with when working with new folks. And although I can't see you, you can still practice. So of course, the beginning, we have please, please, please. If you're right-handed, you should be signing with your right hand and your dominant hand. If you're left-handed, you'll be signing with your left hand. Miss Keisha is right-handed, so all of my signs are with my right hand. So again, I have please. The same hand, I'm doing thank you, thank you. Everyone asks, how do you say thank you in sign language? Thank you, thank you. With an S, sorry over our chest, sorry, sorry. These are the 3 basic signs that we want everyone to learn from his baby up into adult. So again, I have please, thank you, and sorry. All right, a few more. We have to teach. To teach. I always ask the kids if they want to learn. To learn. To forget. To forget. You don't know the answer. I forgot. I forgot. If you want mom to remember, remember, remember. And we can come back to some more basic ASL vocab words towards the end of the call, but I just kind of wanted to continue to throw little pieces in because throughout your, week, you could be doing in the kitchen, including, hey, food, more, and then just keep being consistent, and then your child will begin to pick up. There was a series of books, The Elephant and the Piggy. I love the book, and I wanted to read the book today on the call, but I don't have it with me. But there's a book called We Are in a Book, and I read it to my second graders all the time, but it's beautiful how you get to see the words come to page as you're reading, and then you feel that experience. Same thing with the signing. It's like, hey, a signer is reading you. So when we're watching the sign, that's how we're understanding. So I was very inspired by that book, and I want to share with you guys as well. I'm going to make a video, and then I'll share with Karen as well. But it's The Elephant and the Piggy. We are in the book if you can look it up. So going back to the transformation of how we got to this point, steps by Keisha, writing in the car, hearing a song, feeling inspired, pitching the idea to kids. Hey, I have this poem. Hey, I have this song. I want to see if you guys are willing to learn. They were like, of course, it started with 1 song and then they expanded to, over 10 songs. And then from there, we were doing annual performance of 10 to 15 songs. So I've kind of been trying to keep it going because I know that there's other people who can benefit from it if I feel like I myself too am still learning throughout the process as well. So I think about people who are like me, who have limited access to ASL, who do use hearing devices and benefit from hearing, who may also love words, so that's how our brain recognize the communication. So we need to have that, visual to reinforce what we think we hear. I kind of want to touch base a little bit about, the friction within the deaf community about how to go about learning and, what are these unwritten rules that are, put forth. And I just want to say that, it's important to stay true to what feels right for you. If you don't know, then to ask. And if they, can't find someone who reach out to me, reach out to those who do know, we'll get you to the right person because there is access out here and you don't have to feel like you're alone or, isolated, because I know that within the deaf community, we can feel isolated too. And it's still a large community, even though it's close knit. So find your people, build that support. It goes a long way from child into adulthood. Another thing is to be genuine, make it come to life. If you're, dedicated on staying committed to learning, then figure out what are ways or what are the best times for you to continue to learn and just get creative. I'm always thinking of new ways to reach people because everybody doesn't learn the same way. When I visited the Eddie conference last year, it was the first time I understood that visual language come natural to me opposed to audio. And I didn't understand that because I had been taught for so long that, speech is best and, what you can hear, that's what you can affirm. But I was able to understand a lot more ASL even when I wasn't even able to produce. I just want to reinforce again that having those visual aids, I know as a teacher, I always try to create the PowerPoint, send the hard copy. So requesting those tangible hard copy will increase our ability to understand what's being communicated. I'm going to take a little small break before we go into some engagement. Do anyone have any questions for me so far about anything that I've stated?
I'm going to quickly talk about some things in the chat. There was a comment about them loving the history of your name. And somebody asked, could you one more time repeat the name of the book you were talking about?
Yep, The Elephant and the Piggy. We are in a book.
Great.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Go ahead and type in the chat, folks.
Yep, will do.
I don't see any other questions right now.
Okay, so over the past 5 years, I've been networking with other outreach communities, youth development organizations, trying to figure out how to make ASL more accessible. My goal is to normalize ASL in all of our communities, for it to be the language that we all are familiar with, regardless of our background, our class, race, or whatever. So I know in the past I worked with some preschoolers. We did Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. The most recent one with the students that I work with now, we did It's All Right. It's the soundtrack to the movie Soul, and we just had so much fun. I would show you the video, but technology doesn't always work that way. But I do want to teach you the 3 signs. So there's 2 chords, and he says, Miss Keisha can't sing, FYI, but he says it's all right. So we do the sign, it's all right, and we're gonna do it 3 times, and we're gonna do the same line 3 times. So it's all right. Oh. It's all right. Oh, it's all right. Have a good time, 'cause it's all right. Whoa, it's all right. And the kids loved it because it was catchy, it was easy, it was repetitive. And so if you find that song that your child really loved, learning those basic ASL words and putting them together will start to, make that connection, because sometimes we're not able to articulate in English what we might be trying to say, but maybe we remember what the sign is. And so building that bridge increases our responsibility as we continue to push communication. I do want to perform a song for you guys. Let's see if I can get some audio going. Hold on. So this song is called Hopeful. It's by Twista, and it's kind of fast, but it's my normal song that I always teach as the first song that we learn. And it just talks about being hopeful, using whatever you view as inspiration, and let it continue to be the fuel. Let it drive you to do everything that it is that you want to do. And for me, it drives me to be more intentional. It drives me to push others on accessibility. So hold on. So I'm gonna teach you the words a little bit, and then we're gonna try it maybe once with the music. And then I will also share with you guys so that you can practice on your own with your children. All right, so the words is hopeful. My teacher says hopeful. Yes, yes, yes. And in English, the words are hopeful. Yes, I am. But in sign, we're gonna say hopeful. Yes, yes, yes. Hopeful for today. So again, we're saying hopeful. Yes, yes, yes. Hopeful for today. Next line is take this music. We're saying to take. Take this music. Take this music with a U and use it. Again, take this music and use it. We're doing let it, to let, take you away. So again, take this music and use it. Let it take you away. And be hopeful, hopeful. Next line, and he will make a way. So we're saying will make a way. Again, will make a way. I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy, but that's okay, because we hopeful, hopeful. So I'm going to do this again. We're going to do it again. So we say hopeful. Yes, yes, yes. hopeful for today. Take this music and use it. Let it take you away and be hopeful, hopeful, and he'll make a way. I know it's not easy, but that's okay, cause we hopeful. And then we finger spell hopeful at the end. So it's HOPEFUL. Understand? All right, Miss Keisha's gonna show you our performance. 1 second. So we're gonna have a barrier because when I share my screen for audio, it's gonna make me littler. So I'll try it once and then I'll do it once without it if I have to.
I know it ain't easy, but that's okay, 'cause we hopeful.
Then we spread it out. HOPEFUL. We always applaud in sign language after because it takes courage to do this and put it to music. Were you guys able to see me a little? Yes, yes, awesome, awesome. All right. Oh, you couldn't see me. Could you hear the music? Yes, okay. So I'll just do it one more time just for visibility purpose. Cause I'm hopeful. Yes, I am hopeful for today. Take this music and use it. Let it take you away and be hopeful, hopeful, and he'll make a way. I know it ain't easy, but that's okay, cause we hopeful, hopeful. Then we spell it out. HOPEFUL. And applause in sign language. Finger spelling is everything, everything. If you don't know something, always finger spell. And then the person can help you learn the sign if there is a word sign to it. All right, before I go to announcements, I'm opening up again for any questions. I encourage you guys to reach out to me. I'm very, personal. I'm involved on Facebook, and I'm just an open book. So if you have any questions, you want to learn more, you want to figure out how we can partner and do whatever it is, I'm totally on board. Just send me a message. Yes, so for resources, I'd like to recommend the Gallaudet Children's Dictionary. It's currently online. You can buy a book for $30 on Amazon. I would encourage you to get a tangible copy, but like I said, it's currently online until April. It's a great resource. Other than that, ASL Connect is also through Gallaudet. And then just meeting people in the deaf community who have deaf experiences and learning from them. The rule is to learn from someone who is deaf. And so that's what we try to do now. If there's no access, then you have to utilize what you have. But yeah, those are the online resources. In the Waterloo, Cedar Falls area, there's a Facebook page called Deaf Community Event. So reaching out to them and kind of figure out what's going on. I know Ask Resource do a lot of promotions with working with disabilities. I'm involved in an organization called Inclusion Connection, which we highlight what's going on in the community that is accessible to, well, that promotes accessibility for those with disabilities. And then anything that I come across, like from what I see over social media, I'm always resharing it on Facebook just to kind of get the word out. But it's more about, building connection with someone who is deaf, with someone who's, active in the deaf community, and then continue to nurture those relationships, because it all comes from the connection and then the one-on-one communication. To kind of piggyback on that, we're having a summer camp this summer. It'll be our second annual summer camp, and it is targeted for school-age kids. But if you fill out a registration form and we see that there's a need for any population, we'll make it happen as far as recruiting the experts needed to see through. One way to stay involved with Steps by Keisha right now is I'm working on creating a lyrical song catalog, which means we'll get together on Saturdays and practice songs, my choice or your choice or community choice. We try to get the community input through Facebook as well. And we learn a song, we may record it, and then it will be showcased on our website within the next year. The goal is to be able to create this song catalog so people will be able to learn songs and poems to ASL. Right now, there's currently not a way to do that. There is like ASL Savvy where there's like a word dictionary, but we need better assets as to, fully teaching the language and making it appealable to the audience, especially with our young people. We have to meet them where they are. Which kind of brings me. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Keisha. We have a question in the chat about where they can find information about the summer camp. Will it be online?
Yep. So if you find Steps by Keisha on Facebook, I can repost the registration link. The camp will be online. However, I am working on coming back to Iowa during that time to do an in-person session, given that COVID is, better by then. But we'll see. But I'm prepared to do it online and in person, and if we could just kind of do like a tour for Waterloo, Cedar Rapids, Des Moines, Iowa City areas, that would be great. But I'm always looking for ways to continue to build and bridge with other people or organizations.
A couple of other family leader moms that are out there for those who are on the webinar and want to connect around the state. And this is by no means the only people. This is just a list of folks we're familiar with. Jillian Kaufman over in the Davenport area in non-COVID times. She runs a deaf support group for families. They meet on Saturdays and have brunch and talk and connect. Also, Allison Kupka in the Grimes area holds sessions at library on Saturday morning at the Grimes Library. Again, she's not doing that right now because of COVID, but again, it teaches basic ASL, as well as just giving an opportunity for families to connect with one another and talk about how to engage their young children in communication and speech. And then of course, the Iowa School for the Deaf over by the Council Bluffs area. And that takes us full circle back up to Waterloo, where you can connect with Keisha and other supports that she knows up in that area. So just sort of a north, south, east, west tour there of some family leaders that have some things going on that you can connect with. If you don't know how to connect with those folks, certainly reach out to Ask and we can make sure that you get plugged in with them, and Keisha can as well.
Yes, and I just want to say too, ASL has been a little bit more accessible in lieu of virtual learning is now a theme. I know we're all kind of zoomed out, but it still makes it possible, So don't put it off. We can learn today, start small. I know with my kids, we focused on doing, 3 or 4 signs a day. And each day we added up and wrote down in the journal, every vocabulary word we learned. And then from there, we started to implement it with songs and poems and things like that. So there's a lot of ways to stay creative and stay involved.
Keisha, I was meeting with the Iowa Deaf Mentor Cadre right before this for a meeting, and it reminded me that we had talked last month about you coming to present, and it was interesting. There were about 8 deaf mentors on that meeting, and some of them really engaged through music or dance, and some of them really didn't. Can you talk a little bit about that and how to just ease in? And because for some people, it might be not the best thing, and for others, it might be, but you don't know if you don't try.
Yes, and so everybody is different. Every deaf person is different. So I always encourage you to ask, what are their likes? What are their preferred modes of communication, because it's not one size fit all. I know growing up, I love music. Even today, like it's my thing that kind of calms me down, my go-to that kind of gets me hyped up when I want to get pumped up before something as well. But there are barriers, of course, with hearing devices. So I have a hearing aid and a cochlear implant. And without my cochlear, all I'm hearing is the sound. I don't get the speech. But it was through the process that when I became implanted and hearing the speech clearly through my CI that I decided, okay, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to paint this visual picture for those where we're learning the ASL, we're listening to the music, and it's coming to life as a art form. So I'm an advocate, obviously, for cochlear implants, and I'm looking forward to being bilaterally implanted because I feel that working them together will be like surround sound, which is always the sound that I dreamed of having growing up. So I look forward to that journey, but I totally understand for those who don't enjoy it, because I know that talking on the phone is such a barrier for me, and I tell people all the time, don't call me, just text me, and I'll get on the phone if it's an emergency. But just finding out what are your struggles, what are your challenges, and then honing on to what you do well with and standing on that.
Great, thank you. Any other questions for Keisha before we move on?
I'll say too, it's important to support deaf businesses. I know I follow a lot of deaf Black artists on Instagram, and we just don't get enough light as far as the platform that we're on. And I know, like, with all the controversy and stuff like that, but there's a lot of deaf people out here trying to do good, and we need to continue to, be representation and show our deaf students or learners, that they can do anything that's possible. So that's what I just do overall. Try to leave that inspiration, that motivation, plant that seed that one day that they want to come to me, but I could be visualized as a support. So mainly Facebook. I am on Instagram, but it's kind of combined with my personal life as well. But yes, mainly Facebook, and then we're trying to get our Step by Keisha website revamped with the virtual lyrical catalog. But technology is an aid right now, so I know that there's like trending things on many different apps, Snapchat, TikTok, all of those. But if you see some type of art form on that, I think it's good education that people are, bringing awareness to it, and that are trying to learn and are trying to inspire others, because in order for other people to learn, we have to make this look cool, unfortunately. But, it is cool for people like us, this is our way of life. And so just continue to share our stories and build those connections makes it full cycle.
So, and just so that people who are viewing the recording after are aware about what answer that was to, there was a question in the chat about which forms of media and platforms Keisha is on.
Yeah. All right, guys, I wanna open up the line to you guys. Well, what do you think when you come to mind when you hear my story? What you hear, what it is that I'm doing? What are some things that come across your mind, or that you say, well, I wish my child had access to this, or I wish, what are you thinking?
We're putting folks on the spot here, but I think what I'm going to do is allow, while you guys are thinking about what you might want to say, I'm going to allow you all to unmute at this point. And then you can mute yourself again if you have background noise going on, but I'm going to ask everybody to unmute so that we don't have to type in the chat. You can talk if you'd like to. So I am going to click through everyone and do that. All right, everybody should be able to mute and unmute yourselves now if you want to. But you can also still type in the chat if you would prefer. And I know we've got both some parents on, and we've got some folks who work with parents. We've got some folks that are teachers, early childhood, AEA.
I'm gonna call out someone. I see Miss Tammy Hoffman on here. She was one of our co-stars for a previous webinar that we did with Ask Resource, and she's also a parent of a deaf child as well. And I love Tammy so much. She's just so inspirational and supportive and encouraging. And it's funny because she looks at me that way, but I see her through the same eyes. And she's the epitome of, why it's so important to build these relationships and to continue to connect with others, because we need each other. We can't do this alone. Same for Joy too. I met her through that process.
Hi, Keisha. It's Tammy. I'm always been, you're just such an inspiration to me. And I have a relationship with Keisha these days where I can text her and be like, I'm scared. What do I do now? And Keisha's, she's just right there with information. And yes, I just so much agree that relationship with other people that understand deafness and hard of hearing it just brings comfort as a mama who's trying to raise a little guy and navigate through the world of hard of hearing. And one of the things that you've talked about is with the songs and just bringing song. My little guy was recently implanted, and song is how I'm able to communicate with him. And whether it's literally just making up my own tune to let's go get more coffee, whatever we need to do, song has really helped with starting our communication together and in a speaking world, and maybe doing a little less sign and a little bit more hearing and active listening. So thank you, Keisha. You're great.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is Joy. Hi, Keisha. How you doing?
Good.
So my boys are 8 now. They have mild to moderate hearing loss. And, they also have Down syndrome, and their speech has been quite delayed. I didn't realize how much hearing impacted their speech going, I don't know that anyone helped me really connect those dots until I started working with Eddie. And so, but we started learning some ASL, and ASL was a big way we used sign to communicate with them for a long time. But we had a hard time finding that resource other than looking up signs online. I remember searching like YouTube for like kids songs in ASL, and there wasn't much. And I was like, how am I supposed to do this? There's not much out there. And we needed just like little bits at a time that the boys like really enjoyed and liked. And so that was a little bit of a struggle. So I'm really glad that you are like, that's your goal, is to have like a song library of these things in ASL, because it is one of the ways that my boys have learned. They love music, they love dancing, they love repetition. Repetition is so key. So yeah, that's definitely something we struggled with, and just access to that. I mean, even when they started school, they didn't, the teachers and such didn't sign. And I mean, that was their primary form of communication at home, but because they weren't deaf, they weren't provided an interpreter or anything like that. And so it's just a struggle of across the board with that. They do really well. The more that you talk about visuals and the need for visuals, like, for sure, they are 100% visual. Sometimes they'll watch a show in like Korean, I'll hear Korean from the living room, and I'm like, oh, you don't care about the words, like you're just watching the movement and like the story on the screen. That's my boys. So yeah, those are some of the things that we've struggled with and found that works best for them.
Yeah, I just kind of want to piggyback on some of the things that you said. I know there is a barrier when we have hearing teachers teaching deaf students, and we're still learning the language. Currently in my position, I know some signs, but our students need interpreters when they go to specials like Makerspace and PE, and it's a constant fight, as a parent, as a deaf advocate, as a deaf person, to, push them to be accessible. And I don't think that that's going to change. I think that the more that we push them, we're building the awareness, but we need to always be prepared for that fight. I'll also share too, like my last semester in college, I had a professor who declined to wear the FM system so that I'll have access to his lecture. And his response was, he don't do that. And he didn't realize that he don't have the option to not do that if I needed, to hear. And so that experience opened my eyes that even though, hey, I'm becoming this professional, I'm reaching this avenue of success, it's still going to be something I'm always going to be fighting for, always for access. And it's important to have that support system, to have my mom step in, or that advisor step in, or that speech or OT person who can, attest to your character and attest that, what you're trying to, confirm what you're trying to do. Sometimes people hear it different coming from other people and not the person who's actually needing the service. It's amazing, because I also look at relationship with other deaf adults within my workforce too, where they are demanding on accessibility, which they should be, but when one side gets demanding, the other side shuts down. So the hearing side, they don't want to listen anymore because they've already feel attacked. And so I try to look at these situations and figure out, how can I build that bridge, and continue to bridge us closer. Another resource is ASL Storytime. It's on YouTube, and there's not a lot either. I would say maybe under 50 videos where there are stories where it has ASL sign. Now, all of them do not have voiceover, which is a barrier for those who are hearing, but most of them are starting to add the closed caption piece to it, even though our students, are still learning the English language, but the closed caption helps even when they're still learning. So check out the ASL Storytimes. I'm happy to also include you in Deaf by Keisha emails where we share, Black and deaf stories that I see being promoted with you guys as well. But yeah, we have to look for those things, but it's definitely worth it, because like you said, it's a game changer. And if we know that this one thing could be the piece to unleash joy and happiness, then we have to do it by all means necessary. Any other comments, questions? I hope you guys follow up with me, and we continue to build this relationship, because it's so important. I know too, growing up, I didn't know anyone who was deaf and Black, and it mattered. I knew one person who had a hearing aid, but she didn't sign. And so when I first went to the Eddie conference and I seen that there were deaf, Black participants first, and then interpreters too, I was like, whoa, like, how do I be a part of this? Like, we are one and the same. And for so long, I had felt alone or isolated with a lack of access in the Cedar Valley area. But I'm happy that I can be a vessel.
Yeah, we're glad you are on the scene for sure, Keisha. You're definitely a champion for a lot of different communities and cultures, and bringing people together in a lot of different ways. For Black Lives Matter, for deaf people, for interpreters, for communication differences. Just absolutely a champion in a lot of ways. Any final closing questions or comments for Keisha for tonight?
I just want to thank Christina and Amanda for interpreting today. We love you. We appreciate you guys.
Yes, thank you very much. And we've got comments coming through now that are just saying you're awesome. Thank you. Thank you for presenting. And I have to agree, Keisha, your energy, your passion, your vibrance just comes through. So we appreciate you being with us tonight. And I'm going to be going back.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to continue the work.
I'm going to be going back and looking at the recording and learning some songs and some sign that I can use when I bump into little ones.
Keep it going.
Thanks for joining us, everybody, tonight. And if we don't have anything further, just make sure that you fill out the valuation that you will receive in your email so that we are sure we get better and better at providing you what you need and want from us. And then also, this will be recaptioned for YouTube and put out on our YouTube channel and shared so that you can use it with families and others that you know. Go back to it for resources and information if you would like. And in the chat, Keisha is putting a YouTube channel in there. You want to say what that is quick?
Yep, it's just a by Keisha Sunflower video that I tried to show at the beginning of the call.
Oh, perfect. Okay, great. And we will be sure that that gets displayed in one way or another. I don't know what kind of magic will be worked, but somehow we will be sure that that link is shared on the YouTube channel also. All right, everybody, it's a beautiful night in Iowa for a change. It's warm. So go enjoy the rest of the evening with your families. And thanks again, Keisha, for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, everybody.